Hello, and welcome to You're Wrong About Musicals. I'm Esme,
And I'm now
and today we are going to be talking about Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Should we do some quick news first?
I'm trying to think what news there is.
Cruel Intentions is going to the other palace. We said in Heather's part 2, our predictions, and we basically said something like Cruel Intentions, we just didn't name it because, gonna be honest, I don't really care about Jukebox.
Yeah.
But it makes complete and total sense about why it's going there. What else? Musicals Con happened.
Jesus Christ, it happened.
So the one thing where I was like, I'm kind of sad to be missing that was Claude Michel Somberg doing a Q&A at 10 a.m. in the
That was
Excel.
quite insane. Um,
But I've seen no proof online of it actually happening. Like every other thing, I've seen something on fucking Claude Michel Somberg being in the building. What else do I have to say about Musicals Con? If you went, I hope you had a good time. I hope Elphaba's hat didn't block your view.
literally trying to think what else because we talked about musical con as it was happening.
Yeah.
Oh,
They,
they did You Will Be Found.
yeah, so now sent me something that was like, we should have gone there, but no, now we shouldn't have.
No, okay, the reason I said we should have gone is because they had a Goosebumps the musical booth,
Mm.
which I love Goosebumps the musical. It's just a rip-off Phantom. It's better than Phantom because it's incredible.
Mm.
If you haven't listened to Goosebumps the musical, the Phantom of the Auditorium, I think that's what it's
I
called.
think it came up on my shuffle and I listened to a bit of it a couple of days ago.
Which one?
I have no
Which
idea.
song?
I have no idea.
I'm just double checking that's what it's called. I listen to it
Um,
a lot. It's a
what
really
else?
good
What else
musical.
happened at Musicals Con? I just saw like the same three things on a loop.
There was
Mincemeat were there, so we should
unfortunately there was a Newsies cast not recording reunion.
reunion. Oh,
Apparently there is a recording somewhere, but not been released.
the surprise reunion was the Miss Saigon cast at the Sheffield, up in Sheffield, which I thought
Oh,
was nice and plays into the fact that Claude Michel Somberg was in the building.
yeah,
That production of it looked really sick actually. I'm sad to have missed it.
yeah.
Um
Untitled Fuck Miss Saigon play.
oh, I want to see that.
I do really want to. Is it on right now or did it just close?
I always think it's just closed, but I think they're
I
just
think
moving
it.
venues. I
Oh my
also
god, Fangirls is selling for
yeah,
£10 a ticket. Do you want to go see Fangirls?
I really do actually really want to go see Fangirls. We can, as I said now,
You want to see Sunset Boulevard?
we want to see Sunset Boulevard and we want to see uh Fangirls. I saw a TikTok mapping out exactly where he runs.
Okay, we have to go.
Um, what else? The Hunger Games is becoming a play,
Which does seem very interesting.
and it's coming to London, and I'm very interested. As someone who loves the Hunger Games, I'm not into dystopian, but I love the Hunger Games. I really, really am intrigued. I'm just intrigued to see how they like put the Hunger Games on stage.
Yeah. Okay, I'm still really intrigued by this. I don't know if we talked about it when we were recording or when we were just talking to each other for like the 5 hours before we start recording.
Yeah,
I
well,
really want to go and see what the fuck is happening at Wishmas.
yeah. I'm back in London this week, and I saw posters for it on the tube, and I was like, "That is Wishmas."
That's because that's what I saw. I saw it on the tube and I was like, that looks really interesting. Because it's advertised like it's a play, but it's not.
Oh, it's not a play.
It's like an experience. The actual thing that really caught my attention was it's like the Christmas experience at the old bauble factory. And I was like,
Okay.
now that's the place to have a Christmas experience.
Yeah. Hamilton's got
Um,
new posters, and they've like completely redesigned them.
I hate it.
I don't like it. I was sleep deprived and walking through the thing, and I was like, "That's a jump scare."
Oh, the Witches is open for booking,
Yeah, they
but
already
for
have.
56 quid.
Yeah, they already have booking available for the Devil Wears Prada musical. Do you want to know when it's starting
Mm.
performances?
Ah,
Next October,
fuck off.
and you can book to see it, which I think is ridiculous.
Oh,
Um,
okay, to be fair, Devil Wears Prada is booked from 23 quid.
yeah, but you can, but like, it's so insane how far in advance they've opened up booking.
Do you want to see Rebecca?
I really do actually want to see Rebecca. It sounds unhinged.
It closes the 18th of November.
Fuck!
You gotta get in there.
Gotta get in there. Oh, obviously, the theatre cafe is fucking closed.
Oh my god, I'm pissed about it.
So annoyed. If
If
you
this
don't
cafe contacts
know,
me, I will let you operate out of my room.
Nell doesn't. Wait, your room at home or your room at uni?
Either one. Whatever's easiest. I feel like a theatre cafe could do really well here,
It
where I
could
am.
in your city, yeah.
I can't name where I am. But
If you aren't from the UK, the theatre, or don't know, the theatre cafe was a glorious, glorious place that we were massive fans of.
we went for the first time for an incredibly traumatic experience.
It was the
And
highlight.
we keep going back.
And every time we go there, we're like, we need to go because it's a good place and we need to redo the wrongs of the first time we went there.
Yeah, okay, so the first time we went there, was immediately followed by seeing Dear Evan Hansen. Which, if you've listened to our episode about Dear Evan, I actually feel like we were really soft on Dear Evan Hansen in our episode. I feel like I was too nice to it.
No, you weren't.
I could have been worse.
You could have been so
But I
worse.
wasn't, and I wish I had been.
And I feel like we
hate
don't
it.
talk about how much we hate Jeremy Hansen because we found a newer musical to get really annoyed about.
Yep. And I won't say it. I'm
No.
waiting. We're gonna do an end of year review of all the musicals we've seen. And I'm gonna rip into Operation Mincemeat.
I'm gonna have to like set you a 30-second, like a 2-minute timer.
No, the episode will be 5 hours long. 3 of them will be me saying I hate mincemeat.
And then the other ones will just be you going, so Phantom of the Opera.
So the first time I saw Phantom, I've realised, I think we're going to do every performance we've seen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not every musical. So
I
for
have
example,
seen it over 3 times.
yeah, so for example, if any of us had seen a musical more than once this year, you will have every time you've seen it on that list.
I can actually rank them.
I was saying, because I like the first time. I'm really excited. I'm seeing Phantom again, by the way.
Yeah, you said last week.
But I've got confirmation. I have front row seats for Phantom.
I'm so jealous. I've not been to the theatre since I saw Next to Normal, and I'm desperate to go back.
What will be your comeback show?
Whatever.
If you could pick any.
What that's on at the moment.
Yeah.
Probably Sunset Boulevard. Gatsby is open, the reviews are out, they're what I expected them to be. Someone on Reddit got into an argument about how tall Jeremy Jordan is.
He's 5'8", by the way. Just so everyone knows.
You heard it here first. He is 5'8", according to the internet and some girls we met at a tube station.
According to me.
Yeah, Nell's taller than...
I don't... Well, okay,
Nell's
by the way,
taller
Fuck Saigon is still on. It closed on the 4th of November.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If you wanted to go.
Wicked is turning 20. More on that at the end of the episode. Oh, big news for me personally. Andrew Lloyd Webber posted a video of Don't Blame Me. No, it's Look What You Made Me Do / Phantom of the Opera.
Banger song.
Great song. So it's basically confirming our theory that Andrew Lloyd Webber is going to grace the stage of the Eras tour and play Beautiful Ghost Wembley Night 1.
Andy or Taylor, if you're listening, Night 1 Wembley, please.
Mm-hmm. We know both of you are. We know both of you are listening to this. So obviously, hey Tay.
Hey Andy, I'm really sorry for comparing you to Trisha Paytas, but it's true.
So true. Taylor, if you're listening, please play Beautiful Ghost or Macavity, your pick. And then actually, can you do 3 surprise songs Wembley Night 1? Can you do Macavity or Beautiful Ghost, your choice? And then Right Where You Left Me, and then You're on Your Own, Kid?
Here's my question,
Right.
About the Eras tour.
Yes. Well, I know all.
We'll include this. I don't know if she's going to have London Boy as a surprise song, or if she's going to change the set list for the date she's in London. Because it would make more because the surprise songs are what, either all on piano or all on guitar.
No, so one's
like
piano,
acoustic.
one's guitar.
Yeah, but they're acoustic.
Yeah, they're acoustic.
London Boy doesn't really work as an acoustic song.
It does. I'll send you a clip of her doing an acoustic.
Please don't. I want to be surprised. I feel like if you're in London, Why would you play
Yeah,
London Boy
I mean,
acoustic?
she didn't
Because
do.
how many nights is she there? 4 or
She's in
5?
6
Okay,
over
okay,
like 2 months.
6 nights in London. 6 nights in London.
Yeah,
She's just gonna put it on the set list
I
because
could see
she's
her.
changed the set list for specific scenarios before.
Yeah, I could see her putting. I don't think she will, but I could see her. I could see her getting. She needs to get rid of Lover. It's Jova. Like it. I don't want to get too much into Taylor talk because I could talk for hours. However,
Obviously,
it's Jova between it's Jova, and she doesn't like singing Lover. Like she gets very dead-eyed doing
but
it.
I really like the song Lover,
No, I like the
so
song
I
Lover.
quite like her to keep it.
What do you want her to get rid of in the Lover set then?
I don't fucking know this
She does
set list.
Miss Americana, Cruel Summer, You Need to Calm Down, Lover, and The Archer.
Controversial.
Yeah.
Cut the Archer.
She cut it from the movie. So
Everyone's gonna hate me for it. Cut the Archer. London Boy.
and if you see now Night One Wembley bobbing along to The Archer, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
And if you hear
Just know, I'd prefer it to be London Boy.
you're gonna be stood there going, "Where's London Boy?"
It's good, but you know, there's a better song.
If you also hear 2 people screaming when Andrew
If-
Weber takes the stage when everyone else is too shocked / doesn't know who the hell he is, it's us.
When Andrew Lloyd Webber inevitably takes the
It's
stage
not-
at night one of the hours.
It's not a when, it's an if. No, it's not
It's
an if.
not
It's
an
a when.
if, it's a when. You will hear from from quite close to the back.
Yeah, we're like 20 rows.
Yeah, it's probably right off the back. You will
like
hear
50
some screaming.
diamonds.
We have good seats.
We
I
have
want to make
good
it clear.
seats.
Shout out to Esme for getting us the seats.
It was really stressful, but I got them.
I do buy seats for other concerts. Not that I go to with Esme. I have bought us seats though for concerts.
Oh yeah, and Love Never Dies.
The Love Never Dies concert. Best seats in the house. Yeah, I'm really excited for the Eras tour in 1 year.
It's in 240 days. I just checked.
Don't have a fucking countdown.
Why? You expect me not to have a countdown for the Eras tour?
Oh no. I figured you might just know it off the top of your head.
No, I'm not that good at maths. You know, my primary school was fucked. Beetlejuice time.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice is a musical with music and lyrics by Eddie Perfect and a book by Scott Brown and Anthony King. The first mention of Beetlejuice in 2016 when it was announced that there would be a Beetlejuice musical, with Alex Timbers being announced as working on the direction of the show. It was then announced that the show would be going to Broadway in the 2018 and 2019 season. Really interesting about this is that they announced Alex Timbers as the director before they found the writing team.
Yeah.
Which isn't normally how these things work. But because Beetlejuice is such a
iconic movie,
like set heavy show, or like aesthetics based show, for better or for worse, and this isn't a dig at Beetlejuice, it's such an aesthetics based show, it makes sense that the direction came first.
I think because it had so much to live up to. Like the movie is really iconic. I love the movie. It's one of the few I've watched.
Yeah, normally it's the other way around.
Yeah, it's one of the few movies I've like properly watched. I might rewatch it soon.
Well, it's spooky season.
Halloween and all that.
Halloween. The first reading took place in 2017 with Chris Fitzgerald playing Beetlejuice, and who was in Waitress. He was Ogie originally in Waitress. With Warner Brothers Theatricals saying about developing new musicals, because they were also developing another one around the time that never really came to fruition.
Another Beetlejuice or just another?
No, just another film of theirs into a movie. Mark Kaufman, vice president of Warner Brothers Theatre, said, "We're treating theatre stuff like a slate of films where they're basically like trying to speed up the process instead of just being like, this would work as a thing and just musical taking that."
Again, keeping in mind 2017, it's that time period when you are going to see so many musicals get rushed out, trying to get off the success of Hamilton.
Yeah, they're like, oh, theatre's cool again. Let's
suddenly everyone loves theatre. Everyone's going to go and see theatre. Let's get some theatre out there to make money.
In October of 2017, there would be more workshops with Carrie Butler, Danny Pudi from Community. I feel like, as the Maitlands, I feel like we were robbed of. I would like to just see a demo of fucking Abed from Community singing Maitland's 2.0 or something. I don't know if that was a song at the time, but whatever. Alex
Surely Ready, Set, Not Yet was on.
Ready, Set, Not Yet has been around for a while.
I do think Rob McClure is really good as what the fuck is his name?
Adam?
Yeah, Adam and Barbara.
Adam and Barbara.
I think he's a really good Adam.
Yeah, Adam.
Danny Pudi.
Danny Pudi would have been hilarious.
Come on.
Would have been so funny. Alex Brightman as Beetlejuice and Sophia Ann Caruso as Lydia. Also, everything we say in this episode is a legend.
This is all speculation. There's no concrete proof.
For anything we're about to say.
You know, okay, to be fair, what's something Ellen O'Neill does at the beginning of her videos?
No hate.
This is all just information I found on the internet, and I mean no disrespect to the victim or their families. This is just for entertainment purposes. That's what's about the Beetlejuice episode. We should have put that at the start of the Dear Evan Hansen one. No disrespect to Ellen O'Neill, by the way. I love Ellen O'Neill. Just think that intro is quite funny.
The production would cost $21 million to be produced in total, including the DC run and the eventual Broadway run. It would make its world premiere in 2018, playing DC's National Theatre between the 14th of October and the 18th of November, with many of the casting staying the same from the labs and workshops, with Alex Brightman, Sophia Ann Caruso as Beetlejuice and Lydia, Kerry Butler and Rob McClure as the Maitlands, and Leslie Rodriguez Kritzer. So there were only like 2 main reviews of the DC run that I could find, and they are quite different from each other. So Variety said, the production's $21 million budget and 8 years of development have clearly yielded a mountain of establishments for a razor-thin plot and a host of ways to zero in on the target audience. Indeed, excess is partial to the problem, from the rapid-fire barrage of special effects and the book's tiresome dependence on crotch jokes and the abundant slapstick. There's only one character who conjures any empathy, the rebellious dark daughter Lydia, made even more prominent in the film, played here than she is in the film, played here by the talented Sophia Ann Caruso, with an engaging voice and spirited presence. Caruso lights up the scene and nails her musical arrangements. Brightman, in contrast, wears out his welcome almost instantly with his incessant cruelness, tiresome antics, annoying voice. The stage version of the character can be reined in for everyone's benefit. Songwriter Perfect score is another troublesome spot. There are few melodies of distinction at times. It musicalizes scenes that arguably could be more effectively conveyed in dialogue. A prime example is the Act 2 song it's a song in Act 2 which Lydia and her father reconcile over the mother's death, the evening's most profound moment.
That's true, actually.
What, home? They're talking about home, though.
No, but it's a change song because it's not a song the bit between Lydia and her father has always been dialogue at home.
Yeah. That's always.
Originally, it was a song.
Was it? No.
He literally just said the song in Act 2 where they can reconcile.
Oh, yeah, stop computing. We'll get. When we talk about our thoughts, I have a story to tell about Beetlejuice. At least 2 of these Harry Belafonte numbers inspired by the scenes. Deo showing up late scene at a dinner party is delightful. It's the kind of joy that the Warner Brothers TV will still need work for the rest of the proceeding before the show lands on Broadway in March. iHeartRadio had a very different reaction to the show. They said the musical's adaptation of Beetlejuice is warming up for a 2019 Broadway debut at the Washington, D.C.'s National Theatre. It is Broadway's next big thing because it's everything Broadway needs right now. An escape. The star is stacked with superpowers. Names will be named later, though there's enough Broadway firepower in this company to more than justify finding a theatre and giving them a home. The story established on the Tim Burton movie from back in the day with a comedic twist. The music has just enough of the post-Hamilton / Dear Evan Hansen / Alex Lacklemore influenced sonic stuff going on to give it that new #Broadway street cred, which includes a cast soundtrack, a deluxe edition, and it has all the stuff that rhymes with the phrase multiple Tony Award nominations and award winning. But that isn't why it's going to be Broadway's next big thing. It's the chemistry. It's the stuff you can't follow a template for. It's the stuff the cast brings.
Well, we'll get into the cast.
Wildly different reviews, though.
Mm.
Basically, one saying it's going to fit so well into this current landscape of musical theatre. The songwriting's very in and it's hilarious. And the other one's saying it's tiresome, it's this, it's that. And I've heard that from people who have seen it, who saw it early in development and even in previews.
It has definitely changed from how it was in development and previews. Like the one that most people know and love, that I know and love, it is very different from how it opened.
I know for a fact because I knew someone who, my old drama teacher, saw it in previews.
Yeah.
And then he came back and was like, guys, I've been in New York, I've seen some shows, let me share with you guys this.
Let's gossip.
Let's talk. No, he was very like good about it, and he was like, okay, so here he was like, I saw Beetlejuice, and all of us were like, yeah, Sam, tell us. Like, it hadn't opened, we hadn't got the cards going, so we knew nothing about it basically. And he was like, it was horrific. And I was like, fuck, because I knew Nell was really excited for it.
Yeah.
And he was like, the set is the only redeeming part. And then he said, on the other hand, Oklahoma. And he went, and then he spoiled the ending of Daniel Fisher's Oklahoma for me.
Wow.
And it just like stayed in my
Rude.
brain until I saw it. And I was like, this is sick. Anyway.
I do just want to say on the topic of the set,
Yeah.
you know how the weeks around the Phantom episode,
Yes.
I campaigned pretty hard that Phantom should have won.
No, we're gonna get to that.
I have beef with the Tony Awards.
So many reasons.
Genuine beef with the Tony Awards.
So many reasons as well.
I get so much joy out of just complaining about who they give awards to.
It is ridiculous.
Mm.
The show would open on Broadway on the 20th of April 2019 at the Winter Garden Theatre, being one of the last shows to open for that Tony season. And honestly, looking back on it, thank God it did. Like, I was like, maybe I should have waited a season. And then I was like, no. It going to Broadway when it did was the best thing could have ever happened to fucking Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Important to note, the Winter Garden is a 1,530 seat theatre.
Yeah.
The Winter Garden is massive, and it kind of just takes over Times Square.
It's a huge theatre. Like, I think it's very difficult for shows to go into the Winter Garden.
Do you know what was there before? Like before Beetlejuice? School of Rock.
I do love their kind of movie musicals in the Winter Garden.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all we're going to say about the Winter Garden for the moment.
For
now. The reviews when it finally did open on Broadway. Invisibility is definitely not among the show's problems. Overcompensating from the fear that it might lose an audience with limited attention span is. Though it features a jaw-droppingly well-appointed gothic funhouse set, replete with spooky surprises, the show overstuffs itself with gags, one-liners, and visual diversions that you shut down from sensory overload.
Can I just say, and we're definitely going to talk about this later as well, but that's what made it so good for the TikTok audience.
Also, I have something personal to say about that review.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get into my story about Beetlejuice, it will become apparent about why I'm a bit like, oh, yeah.
But this is kind of a bad episode for me because I love Beetlejuice, and I will. The thing with Phantom is I fully accept criticisms of Phantom. Yeah. I don't know if that came through on the episode. I think it kind of did because I talk a lot about how much I like the book, and I do like the book. I think the musical has a lot of criticisms that you should take into account. I don't think that's in Beetlejuice. Actually there's some.
Beetlejuice with music and lyrics by Eddie Perfect, whose other thing is King Kong the musical. I don't know anything about it other than the fucking puppet. But when I was in New York in 2018, I walked past the theatre and my dad just went, I want to see that. Pointed at King Kong, which wasn't running. I went, I want to see that. And I went, I know nothing about that. And then he would occasionally ask me, how's the King Kong musical doing? And I went, as well as you'd think. It's not
incredibly.
It's not coming to London anytime soon. And a book by Scott Brown and Anthony King is crafted from a group of creative minds who clearly love the source material, though it not all works. There are still second act problems, and the song list is void of any real bops.
Wrong.
But it's a fun time for the Burton for the Burton novice and pure fan service for the Burton stands. Thanks in large part to the titular Pucus undead spirit breathing life into Broadway experiment that could have been done in the water. The movie to stage adaptation is tricky genre to navigate. It ultimately comes down to what more is there to say? What could we do with this story that we could do in the movie? Beetlejuice, both the play and the characters, has its flaws, but it's one crazy trip that proves there's a lot more to say and a lot more fun to be had. Be less. And we'll end with Variety re-reviewing it, this thing. Plotting eventually goes completely off the rails, but keeping it entertaining enough are the off-the-wall humour, endless visuals, and oral?
It does look like oral, but
Oral?
hold on, let's look and search out what that is.
Yeah.
I've never seen that word before in my life.
Like every once in a while, we have.
Oh, like auditory,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
relating to the ear or the sense of hearing.
Oh, okay. That's correct. Correct.
All right, Variety.
All right, Variety. I will say yes.
You're right this time.
Yes, New York theatre reviewer, I agree. Tasteful, tuneful music and wicked lyrics are perfect. He redeems himself thereafter after his ball plate score of King Kong. Inspired by Burton's aesthetic set design to David Corn's house on the hill, becomes a fantastic, ever-morphing character onto itself, while William Ivy Long's costumes could headline Mexico's
Dia de los Muertos.
Thank you now parade.
I probably said that wrong.
Better than I could have said it. Kenneth Posner's lighting and Peter Helsinki's sound design, as well as puppets, magic, and special effects that contribute to the overall eye and ear popping experience. Brightman is a match star in presence and musical chops as Cariso, as she travels to hell and back without losing her way. Mercure and Butler find big laughs too as the sweet but not too sweet couple that have finally found a reason to live after they've died. Dan and Hauser, as Lydia's dad, grounds the cast with sincerity without forgetting his loopy side too. Cast members Jill Ambrovitz, Delvin Moon, Lowe, and Danny Rutigliano all find their comic moments too. After a memorable appearance by Dana Steingold, you'll never look at a gal at your door the same way. Now, synopsis time.
Oh my god, that's a big one for me. I love this musical. Lydia Dietz is a strange and unusual teenager who's obsessed with the whole being dead thing. Lucky for Lydia, her new house is haunted by a recently deceased couple and a degenerate demon who happens to have a thing for stripes. When Lydia calls on this ghost with the most to scare away her insufferable parents, Beetlejuice comes up with a perfect plan, which involves exorcism, arranged marriages, and adorable Girl Scout to get scared out of her wits.
Banger of a synopsis.
I do just want to say the amount of I don't know if it's just because there was just a mention of the Girl Scout and Dana Steingold in the review.
Yeah.
But do not think that the Girl Scout is a big enough role to have a mention in the synopsis.
I think because what they were doing is they were mentioning the featured ensemble of Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
She's the only one out of that list that has her own song.
Yeah, because it's like
Girl
I don't
Scout?
understand. For that synopsis, I don't understand why you would mention the Girl Scout and not her whole trip to hell and the underworld.
Well,
like in my mind, one of them is slightly more important to the plot.
Because let me share the story of me when I saw Beetlejuice.
All right.
Because I think it will inform a lot of what I'm going to say about my thoughts, and there's a massive caveat that comes with all of my thoughts.
Yeah, same with me, but it's just I fucking love Beetlejuice.
Oh, mine is that I was severely asleep. Yeah, so I fly standby. And so you don't know if you're getting on a plane.
She's cool and special.
It's not cool or
She's
special.
not like other travelers. She's like standby.
Really stressful. But because of this and all of the disruption that was going on at the time in the airports, there was like a really real chance that I was not gonna go to New York. So I didn't really sleep the night before. And then our flight was I had to be up for like 5 a.m. And so I got like 3 hours sleep, got on a plane, went to New York, landed in New York, got on the fucking Sky bus, which I love. It's so weird and I'm obsessed with it.
So Beetlejuice.
Dropped our bags, went to TKTS, which fucking love American TKTS. It is so efficient and so cheap. I mean, American Broadway prices are insane.
Yeah.
But like we were able to get tickets for half off. We were on a Tuesday, so that's probably why.
But I think this is the problem I have, is that British theatre tickets are a lot cheaper, but it means you get less discounts.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm spending less on American theatre because they'll give you like 75% off and it'll still be like 50 quid, but you're like, this is a bargain.
So I have the ticket stub. You guys can't see it, but I have this ticket stub right here because it's just kept in my playbill. Now I have the playbill as well.
Oh, let me get the folder out.
The folder makes an appearance. So we bought these at like 2 p.m. Whenever
For the what,
became
7:30?
for the 7:30 performance. I went to Lin-Manuel. Oh, it's 7 p.m. Sorry. I went to Lin-Manuel Miranda's bookshop.
Oh yeah.
Had a weird time there. Ate Chipotle and then went to go see Beetlejuice. But by that point, I'd been up for like 20 hours. Again, I had amazing seats. We were in like row T of the orchestra.
You got this girl, keep trying. Orchestra.
I was
I
in
don't know where you're getting the T from.
I have no fucking clue. I was in row T. It was really good. American audiences, really annoying.
Yep.
There was a woman in front of me who was on what? Have you just seen Mincemeat?
Yeah. I turned it over because I was like, oh, my Groundhog Day program.
No, the woman in front of me, she was there with her children, and she'd probably paid quite a lot of money to go see this. She'd probably paid full price at least, so at least $140 each for these seats, probably. A lot of fucking money here. And then she gets on her phone during home.
Oh my god.
I was ready to kill a bitch. It was so offensive.
I will talk about home actually.
Go ahead.
Well, it was 2019.
Yeah, when we're talking about Beetlejuice, we mean like, unless we say post-pandemic, we probably mean pre-pandemic Beetlejuice.
So yeah, it was 2019. We were talking about it, and Esme said the stupidest thing.
I know what you're about to say.
Esme said, well, Dead Mum is a better song than Home. I said, no, it's fucking not. Home is undeniably the song on the soundtrack. Like, a lot of them are funny songs, they're like cute songs. Home is the best song on the soundtrack. And she was like, no, it's not. And I said, go home and listen to Home.
And then I did.
I get a text from her at like 5 p.m. that day because it was after school. And she was like, Home is the best song on the
Home is
soundtrack.
the best song. I can admit when I'm wrong. No, but I remember getting through halfway towards the end of the second act and like having to remind myself that Alex Brightman can talk like a normal person.
He is incredible with Beetlejuice.
I cannot put into words like the amount of work that man is doing on stage.
Yeah.
It is insane. And I think I was just like delusional by that point, delirious by that point, where I was like, oh, that's just like how Alex Brightman is in real life, just like that. I also lost my mind at when Lydia and Beetlejuice are up on the roof.
Yeah.
And Beetlejuice goes, fuck Brigadoo. Because it reminded me of the guy who didn't like musicals.
My god, back on our Star Kids
shit. And I was sat there like cackling and no one else was. And they just fire off jokes, like references that aren't on the recording, especially during the whole being dead thing.
I think it's again Alex Brightman. He's incredible. He's so good. It's improv. He's incredible at improv. Like there's this joke in the theatre community. I don't even know if you can call it that. I think every theatre kid will think it, and it's just I fucking hate improv.
Oh, I fucking the thought of doing like freeze makes me die.
I don't mind it. I say that now. If you said to me right now, okay, get on stage and do improv, I would hate it. But I don't mind it that much. I know people hate it more than me. Yeah. I thought our fucking GCSE drama was basically, all right, we're gonna do improv today. Get in the center of the room and improv.
Yeah, that was
and so
scary.
you just kind of learn to deal with it.
But yeah, you learn to do it. It's a skill. Improv is fully a skill. That's what
and to do it in the way that Alex Brightman does it, especially in Beetlejuice, is incredible because it feels written in.
Yes. And
like it's not like I'm gonna jump ahead a bit in terms of where we are chronology. Like
I'm about to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but he made jokes about like the Music Man,
Yes, yeah.
and in a lot of cases, you might expect those kind of jokes to feel really out of place. Like it would be like he's saying something relating to the plot.
Why is
And
this
by the
demon?
way, fuck the Music Man.
Because
Back to
they
the plot.
switched out the Brigadoon line, and like I think the way that they always have they set up from the very beginning, because Invisible happens. I remember this so clearly because Invisible happened, and I was like, oh, this is really freaky because it's someone doing the mannerisms of the Lydia character, but
Yeah.
sounding so different. And then the fourth wall completely breaks with Alex Brightman, or as Beetlejuice, going on stage and going, wow, such an original departure from the source material. And then he just starts.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
I think that's kind of what annoyed me a bit about all of those reviews. And I completely get that those are a lot of them were reviews from like previews and before it was an established show on Broadway.
Yeah.
I feel like this thing about being like, oh, Alex Brightman is too like brash. Like his jokes are too much in this musical.
Yeah.
It's like that's the point. Like the first thing he said, like the musical starts and it's very serious. It's like my mother is dead, and I'm gonna
You're
sing a sad
invisible
song.
when you're me.
Sorry, I really want to play Lydia. It's like I joke a lot. Lydia is actually my dream role,
I
like
told
ever.
you that someone we knew had listened to it and you went, fight them for the Lydia part.
Yeah. Listen, there were rumors that there was going to be a pro shoot recording in London. If you need a Lydia, if
Where
oh my God, who was it right before it closed?
oh,
Elizabeth.
oh, she was really good.
She
I loved
seemed
her.
incredible. I've never watched a bootleg. I want to make that
Now
very
I've
clear.
never watched a Beetlejuice bootleg.
And you can check the files on my computer. Just give me a heads up first. But I have never watched the
Give
Beetlejuice
her a
bootleg.
15-minute warning, but she never has watched a
15, 20-minute
Beetlejuice.
warning, and I've never watched a Beetlejuice bootleg. However,
Um,
I'm everything like a think piece on how the different actors acted Lydia.
yeah, I can only really talk on Elizabeth Teetler,
Yeah,
but
she is incredible. She's genuinely
she's
incredible. I
incredible.
loved her.
And the thing that really freaked me out when I saw her as Lydia was when she was doing Dead Mom, and you know the way that you move during Dead Mom is so choreographed, and I didn't really
Yeah,
realize that before because the only legal recordings we had, and I've never watched a bootleg in my life, of Dead Mom were of Sophia doing it, and such a part of the movements was the voice that she did.
yeah,
Now we are vocal experts, but I have a friend who knows a lot about the science of it,
yeah.
and they said that the way that she was singing was not healthy.
She.
We're
The
gonna
thing
park,
is,
but seeing
Sophia and Caruso is an incredible singer.
yeah,
Like
seeing
genuinely, you could like listen to. She has original music. She's been on. She was on in Smash when she was like I mean 8 or
yeah,
something.
she did At Your Feet with Bernadette Peters. The way I can just
Yeah,
recall that is
she
scary.
was in Oh my God, is it called
David
Lazarus?
Bowie's Lazarus, yeah,
Yeah, and she's in Beetlejuice, which I think she's most well known for.
yeah.
I feel like she has been in other stuff. I just can't recall
No,
it off
I
the top
looked
of
her
my head.
Wikipedia when we were talking earlier.
Oh yeah. Um,
She's
but
in
she is an
not singing
incredible
wise.
singer. It's just
It's just the way that she encouraged a bunch of inadvertently, not her fault. The way
yeah,
that she got a bunch of 13-year-olds to sing was not healthy.
yeah.
But no, it was
Like
seeing someone do the very distinct movements in this distinct costume and all of this other stuff with a very healthy voice that you didn't feel like was going to give out every 2 seconds
yeah,
was mind blowing to me. I was like, where's the
please.
set? Holy
Set.
fuckola.
I'm a sucker for a good set. I
The
love sets.
the way that when you're like, I remember when Invisible happened and I was looking at the stage and I was like, that stage isn't that big. Like everyone's been overplaying the set. I don't know how this set works.
It's they use the space of like honestly, like you said, it's not a huge stage. Like there
No,
are some stages that are massive.
I think it's a lot bigger than we think.
Yeah. But I think they use the space of it so well because they have to leave enough space to actually, have actors on stage, but the set, oh my god, I could gush about the set for ages.
And then when they go into the Netherworld and they're running through the Netherworld, like I was like, what? Because they make it look like it's this big, like that's where I'm like, I think it's bigger than we think. Because they make it look like it's this big, like vast expanse of nothingness.
Yeah.
Whilst it's so good. And
Oh my god, the set and the house.
the
Oh my god.
house. Oh my god. I don't know how they do it. I don't know where they keep these houses.
I would love to see it. Like there are so many shows I wish I could. You know how some shows they just let you like go backstage afterwards or like go on stage and you're like the talkbacks.
Yeah.
But there are some where they just let you go backstage and wander around.
Yeah.
I need to do one of those. But there's a ton of shows I would love to do it for.
I don't
Half
know
of them
if
have closed.
I don't know if I'd want to do it with Beetlejuice because it's almost like half the magic would be gone.
Yeah. So, okay, this would definitely happen with this
But
show.
what else did I say about Beetlejuice? It's a really fun time.
Yeah, I think the movie is
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot more serious than the musical is. And the musical is not the musical, the movie is funny.
Yeah.
The movie is good. I really enjoy the movie. It's one of the few movies that I like genuinely have watched and will go and rewatch.
Yeah.
That I'm like Footloose or something. But the musical is more fun in the sense of it's sillier. Like again, I don't know if I ever actually finished this thought or if I just
Oh, you
veered
just
off.
started
But
talking about
yeah,
fear.
but the opening makes you think it's really serious, like invisible, all this like sadness. And then the first thing that Alex Brightman, that Beetlejuice does is come in and break the fourth wall.
I
I'm
think
like,
he
wow.
literally pops out by use of a trapdoor.
Yeah, I know
Because he doesn't walk on
in
stage. He's
some
revealed.
performances, I believe it was like the Tonys.
The Tonys, he's sat in the audience.
Yeah, which I think is very fun. I wish he did that more often.
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe he pops out of a
He
yeah,
isn't he doesn't walk on stage and he like very rarely just wanders onto the stage, which really helps with the whole insanity of it. One thing I will also
yeah.
say though is the Marquee Theatre is a fucking weird ass place.
Hate the Marquee Theatre.
It is in a
Boo.
hotel. It is a weird ass place. The Church of Scientology is across the street. Yeah, but the second you walk into like the auditorium, it was like otherworldly. They had
Yeah.
lights going and all of like, and they had the classic curtain, which was iconic.
Yeah. When did Beetlejuice close?
Beetlejuice closed this year, actually.
Fuck off. No, it did not.
Yeah, it closed in January of this year.
It did not.
It did.
It feels like it's been a million
It feels
years.
like it's been a million years because when we think of Beetlejuice, we think of Beetlejuice 2019. That's what
And
was so
really,
weird about doing this.
he does as Beetlejuice walk on and off stage a few times, but it's done jokingly.
Yes.
The one I can really think of that just comes, and the literal only reason I know this so well is because of the video of them rehearsing it, but they're all doing shit British accents.
Right.
Do you know this video?
I've probably seen it.
Okay. It's in Ready, Set, Not Yet. And they're all doing shit British accents.
Yeah, no, I've seen this.
And he goes to follow Adam off stage.
Oh, yeah.
And as he is doing this, Barbara comes on, and once she's past him, so with her back to him, she goes, "Look at these jugs." And he immediately turns around and is like, I will now.
Yeah. Beetlejuice is
Um,
literally the Pete Davidson I'm just Pete character.
Yeah. Again, I think there are some jokes in Beetlejuice that I don't like. Not even because they're bad, I just don't think they're funny. Like the one where it's like, so if you wake up in the middle of the night, don't text me. You up? Because new fun. I don't think that's a funny joke.
That was
He
a joke,
delivers it hilariously.
Yeah. Alex
Like,
Brightman, comedic genius.
it's hilarious to watch. But I just also don't think it's a funny joke. I also just saw a video I have, which is different types of girls singing Dead Mum.
I think
So yeah, he does walk more.
I think what Beetlejuice does really well is balance the comedic with part of the show, which is the heart of the show really is the relationship between Lydia and her father and the family unit.
There is definitely a serious message in Beetlejuice.
No, like the commitment to doing Beetlejuice to the fullest extent is really like admirable.
Yeah. Oh my God, this set is. I'm just looking at videos of the set now.
The set
Sucks, yes.
is its own character.
It's its own thing. Like, I don't know how to explain that. I just love the set.
The like, but like I don't know. I think it balance. It never takes itself too seriously, so that allows it to be taken seriously.
The bits that, how do I put this? Any bit where Beetlejuice is on stage is a joke,
Yes.
inherently. The
Yes.
second he is on stage, it's a joke.
Yeah.
So the bits where he's off stage, the musical becomes really serious.
Yeah.
So the whole bit in the underworld is very serious. She's like, I'm gonna kill myself.
She is
Um,
literally like running to her death, and even a song like What I Know Now, which is perceived as a joke, is actually taken really seriously within the show.
and I think a really good example of it, Invisible versus Invisible Reprise. Because Invisible is a very serious, I even hesitate to call it a serious song because it is.
Invisible is a very, very serious song.
It's
Like,
a beautiful song. I
it's a
love
beautiful
it.
song. It opens the show, and people who aren't aware of like what Beetlejuice is, it's setting the tone.
Yeah, Invisible is a serious song, and it really
Yeah.
sets the tone of who Lydia's character actually is, which is a very sad character. And then immediately Beetlejuice comes on stage and it's a joke.
Yes.
And then he goes off stage and it becomes serious again. Because the whole bit of The Maitlands Have Ready Set Not Yet is a joke. Like
Yeah.
the lines are funny, the song is funny. The song The Maitlands have without Beetlejuice, which is Barbara 2.0,
Barbara 2.0, yeah.
is a pretty serious, it's still an upbeat song, but it's
And
not a funny song.
the relationship that is formed between the Maitlands and Lydia is very sincere.
I think that's the thing. Beetlejuice is literally just comedic relief. He is the main character. Well, okay, he's the title character.
Lydia's the protagonist
Lydia's
here.
the main character.
She's the one who's driving the plot forward. She's
Yeah,
changing the
yeah.
status
It
quo.
was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that really put into perspective the differences between a main character, a hero, and a protagonist. Do you want to hear these?
Well,
A main character is the character whom the story follows.
yes.
The character that is central to the story.
So it'd be Charlie.
In Beetlejuice, I would say that's Lydia.
The story ends when she resolves her feelings about her mother's death.
Yeah, the story starts at Lydia, at her mother's death. The story starts at the start of her problem in her life, which is her mother's death, and ends when she resolves her feelings around her mother's death. But the story is centered on the hero.
Her dead mum could almost be an I Want song.
Yeah. A hero is the character we, the audience, root for. Usually it's either the main character or the protagonist as well.
Yeah.
It's very hard to have an independent hero.
Yeah.
So in this case, it
is Lydia.
In Beetlejuice there's a lot of characters because it's Lydia, but it's also the Maitlands.
Yeah, and it's also people like Delia.
Yeah, it's like Delia is like her father, who I don't know if he ever actually has a name. Well, I guess to an extent Beetlejuice as well. You root for him to get what he wants.
Does go to, I think he goes to Turbo Hell?
Yeah.
That sounds like the supernatural subplot.
Yeah.
When he goes to Turbo Hell, you do kind of feel sad, even though he is trying to have a child marriage.
Yeah. Like, to an extent, you do root for him to become human and get what he wants.
Yes.
But he's definitely less of a hero than the other characters.
Oh, 100%.
The protagonist is usually defined as the character who changes throughout the story or guides the story forward.
Yeah, the driving force in the story that propels it forward.
Which I would say is Beetlejuice.
Yes, yeah. Beetlejuice also has a one.
Yeah, but the thing is, nothing happens in the story until Beetlejuice turns up. If it wasn't for Beetlejuice, the Maitlands would just die. Because he's there, they become ghosts. If it wasn't for Beetlejuice, Lydia would just suffer with her two ghost friends while her father did whatever the hell he wants. But because Beetlejuice is there, I don't know, traumatize them all.
No, they create this thing.
He encourages her to say his name 3 times, so he kicks everyone out. He encourages her to do a ton of stuff. And it's because of him that she ends up going into the underworld and ends up coming back and ends up hatching the plan. to kill him.
Entire show, and what the reviews did get out is something very important, but the entire show does revolve around the dynamic between Lydia and Beetlejuice, and the audience buying into that dynamic of these two people who need each other.
Yeah, because I think it's the thing, you wouldn't call Beetlejuice an antagonist.
No.
He is not, there isn't really a villain in the story.
At times, Lydia's dad is almost portrayed as a villain.
Yeah.
But
And at
again,
times Beetlejuice is,
he's a
and at
villain
times
as much as
Delia is.
Beetlejuice is. I think Delia's only a villain for like up until
Like
no
2 songs.
reason. Yeah, up until no reason. And then after that, you're like, okay, you're weird.
You're like, yeah, sure, fucking sure. But the thing that got this for me was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Because everyone pretty much agrees that Charlie is the main character and the hero. The story starts with him, it continues as he gets the golden ticket,
Yeah,
and it ends when he wins the competition.
Yeah, the golden ticket is the inciting incident that's propelled forward by him.
Yeah. And the idea of him being the hero of, he's set in a group of children who we all dislike.
Yeah.
We want him to win the competition.
He has to defeat challengers.
Willy Wonka is the protagonist.
Yes.
Because he is the one that takes them into separate rooms to, I don't fucking know, kill the rest of the children.
Like, Roald Dahl was on some nasty shit.
Well, to eliminate them from the competition.
Yeah.
So he takes them to all the challenges they have to face. He is the one who sets up the prize. He sets up the introduction of the golden tickets. He sets up the prize of, hey, if you win, you get the chocolate trade.
Mm-hmm.
He gets rid of all the children. He takes them between places. But he is the driving force of the story.
Yeah.
That's what got it for me. And that's how I always think about stories now in like any medium.
Yeah, no,
Beetlejuice isn't the antagonist, he is the protagonist. I had definitely had a point with all of that. What was I saying before?
Invisible?
I don't think I've ever gotten past talking about Invisible. I just keep going off onto tangents.
Yeah. I think it would have been really easy for them to start the show with Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Because he is the oddity of the show. You can kind of get on board with everyone else and who they are as archetypes. You know, you've got Lydia, you've got Delia, who's this ditzy woman who's just trying to make a life. You've got the Maitlands, who are literally every single normal, typical suburban family up and down middle America, you know?
Yeah.
So it would have been so easy to be like, here's our ghost demon from hell. Start the show there, but instead they decided to start with the real issue of the show.
Yeah. And I think based on the reviews, you can kind of assume that possibly what they did before Broadway and before previews was start with Beetlejuice, because that very much takes away a lot of the plot. It takes away a lot of who the characters are and all of that.
Because I can understand how if the Beetlejuice character is overused, how it could be infuriating or tedious.
Yeah.
And I think the best example of this line being walked very finely is during something like Say My Name.
Yeah. Love that song. Ask me as Lydia. Sorry, I have to keep reminding everyone, just in case. In case someone forgets.
In case someone forgets. Because you have Lydia's going up to the roof to kill herself, and then you have this resulting comedy number.
Which is a great number.
It's a great number, but like such a hard feat to get audiences on board with that tone shift.
Yeah. And I think maybe again I'm blinded by the fact that I do just love this show. I think it's done pretty well.
Yeah.
I don't there never feels like as we talked about this briefly in Heathers, when we were like, it feels like there are two plots when there's a very serious plot and there's a very comedic plot.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice feels like it could almost end up being the same thing, but it doesn't. It is one cohesive plot.
Yeah, you can't.
Like, if you took out all of Beetlejuice's comedy, it would be a dull show.
Yeah,
it would be way too serious.
Really kind of depressing, and you wouldn't have. Whenever Beetlejuice is on stage, the Maitlands are also with Beetlejuice somewhere.
Most of the time.
And so the Maitlands are another grounding force around Beetlejuice to be like, we're normal and fun and stuff.
Yeah. That's like, yeah, if you took Beetlejuice out, the show would be dull. If you take the seriousness out,
you take Lydia, her dad, and Delia out, then
it's just a comedy.
Boring.
It loses the heart. Yeah, it loses the heart of the show, and it just becomes a comedy. And there are shows that can do either one of those really well. There are shows that are fully serious.
I love
it really well.
Depressing ass musical.
I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. I can think of plays like A Little Life, the book and the play.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah,
the mental breakdown I had when I saw Next to Normal.
yeah. There are shows
Les
that do
Mis.
like
Although that was comedy.
Les Mis is kind of funny sometimes. Les
Les Mis
Mis
is
has what are their
the
names?
Thenardiers.
Yeah, who are funny. So I
But
don't think that
I
counts.
still cried 5 times.
Oh yeah.
But no, getting people to come see a really, really depressing musical with no levity is hard.
Yeah, and getting people to come and see just a comedy musical doesn't put a lot of stakes on it. Like, I hate to say this because I really want to go see this show. Gutenberg.
Yes.
Every review I've seen has just been like, it's just a fun musical.
Fun
You
old
know,
time.
it's Andrew Rannells and Josh Gad.
They're on stage. Book of Mormon, you could probably say doesn't have much stakes.
Yeah, there's some. It is by South Park, right? So that does make sense.
Yeah.
Where it's like there are points where it seems serious, but it never really is.
It was like it's like when we went to go see Great British Bake Off and we're like, that was a fun time. The stakes
And even then, there's still some
so
serious bits,
serious bits,
but
but the stakes were so
very
low.
low stakes.
Whereas here it's like any of these characters could die at any given moment. And some of them were already dead, but they could like properly
Yeah,
die. Because in the Beetlejuice world, death is like what's the whole being dead thing? Death is a
yeah.
friend in this show.
I just want to be clear that's a line from falsettos,
That is
not
a lot.
Beetlejuice.
Falsettos, a
Falsettos.
really depressing show.
Still funny.
Still funny.
I think that's the thing. Like, we're struggling to name shows that either fully serious or fully comedic because
No,
all
Next to
shows
Normal
that are good,
is so depressing.
but all shows that are good have some balance between serious and
Yeah.
comedic. And I feel like the comedy is just so good in Beetlejuice. Please hire me. It feels overpowering. Like you feel like it's just a comedy.
Yeah,
Like
and
it's
then
not.
and especially during when Lydia goes to hell, you're aware like it's a bad idea. You're aware that the stakes are high, but you've just kind of had this. You've had Miss Argentina come on and sing this song about how she wishes she all talking about all her life regrets, but it's played for jokes.
Yeah.
And it's all very jokey. They're running through, and then you get to home, and like it is very serious. Huh?
I'm gonna go listen to it after we're done here.
Yeah.
Love
So
that song. I love Beetlejuice.
have we got any more to say? I do
I
like
could go on.
I do
but
like Girl Scout. I do like the inclusion of her character.
yeah.
It's cute, it's fun. It's a good way to open act two because
It's again, I'm just gonna say I don't know why she's included in the synopsis. Like,
I think
I was really sad there and I was thinking, does she come back? And I've forgotten.
no,
Is there another point?
Girl Scout
But
gets
she's in for a song.
well, no, I think the synopses are just weird. If we've learned anything, synopses are weird.
Okay, but the way it makes it sound, because it's like, okay, the exorcism makes sense. That's kind of a main plot point. The arranged marriage makes sense. It's a main plot
It's a
point.
main plot point that everyone forgets about because it's so weird.
Okay, to be fair, it's like mentioned throughout, and then it becomes a real thing right at the end.
Like it when you're watching it, you're like, oh, like they're not actually gonna get like
Yeah.
Lydia's not actually almost gonna get
So
married.
Lydia's not gonna get married.
Delia is.
And then you get also help it. She's there for one song. Her plot, she's comedy, she's comedic, and she just opens up into, hey, Beetlejuice and Lydia have taken over the house, and they just keep fucking scaring people.
And then she dies.
Yeah, who?
I just wonder if because I read
dies?
that.
Who
Huh?
dies?
I swear the
Who
Girl Scout, her heart gives out.
No, it's implied it might.
Yes.
She doesn't die that we see.
As far as
The whole
we're
song
aware.
is her being like, if I get scared, my heart is gonna stop.
And I've lived
I'm
this
gonna
really
die.
sheltered life because my parents have been afraid of me dying.
Yeah, but now, I'm a Girl Scout, nothing can go wrong.
Yeah.
It's
I
such a
wonder
funny
if
character.
like what's gonna happen when we get into the life of Beetlejuice, like outside of the actual like show, whether or not that's coloring my judgment a bit and being like, yeah, the Girl Scouts a bigger part than I think.
I think it's like the thing. She feels like she's far bigger than she is because Dana Stangold was really active
Yes.
in promoting Beetlejuice.
And she was in it like when I saw it, and it was really cool. I was like, oh,
She was in it the whole time, I think.
yeah, she's now in a play of Laura Bell Bundy on Broadway.
Icon.
The Tony Awards, the 2019 Tony Awards.
Oh my god.
It would be nominated for Best Musical, Best Score and/or Lyrics, Best Performance by a Leading Actor in a Role in a Musical for Alex Brightman. Well deserved.
Fully deserved.
Scenic Design for a Musical, Best Costume Design for a Musical, Best Lighting Design for a Musical, and Best Sound Design for a Musical. It would not win any of the awards that it was nominated for.
Yep.
I think it was robbed of lighting and set, at the very least. Like, that's what it was objectively robbed of.
Yep.
And I would have liked Alex Brightman to have won over Santino Fontana. Not because I don't think he's talented, but I think he was doing Tootsie.
Yeah.
And I don't like Tootsie. And if not Santino Fontana, the guy who was playing Curly in Oklahoma, give one of them a Tony.
Please, not fucking Tootsie.
Not Tootsie. I hate Tootsie.
But yeah, it was objectively robbed. Objectively, this isn't just me. It was objectively robbed.
Yeah.
Of at most minimal set.
I can't believe it didn't get any design award.
It needed some kind of design award. I
know it went to Hadestown for set.
Listen, what do I say about Hadestown?
We've not seen it.
We've not seen it yet. It is coming to London. We might see it.
Coming to London. If I can find a cheap enough ticket, I will go.
Oh yeah, happily.
Next year, check out 2024. We will probably see Hadestown.
Yeah, we will have seen it at some point. We definitely plan to.
Yeah. It's on our radar.
Yeah.
And I was, because they recently came onto Today Text and they were promoting it. You know, all of like the first performances are still £23. Like the cheap tickets are still available.
Yeah. And we should go.
Yeah. We should go, actually, ironically.
Maybe we should.
And I was looking at photos of the set properly for the first time since 2019. And I was like, wait, this set actually looks pretty sick. But not sick as Beetlejuice. And I've heard that there's something cool happens. Because again, in Hadestown, they go to hell. There's a lot of hell happening on Broadway in 2019.
Yeah, we were really into it. I am not in any way trying to say that the Hadestown set is bad. I think the Hadestown set is incredible. It's a really beautiful set. It really embodies what the story is and how they play the story.
Artistic.
Yeah. It's a perfect match for the story it's telling.
Yeah.
If I showed you a picture of the set and I was like, this is a set that just won Best Set on Broadway.
Yeah.
And then I showed you a picture. I'm using the same argument I used in Phantom versus Into the Woods.
This is your modern day Phantom versus Into the Woods.
If I showed you a picture of all of the Beetlejuice sets, all of the changes it goes through.
I think that the Hadestown set does change. That's what I heard.
And then if I showed you a picture of all of the Hadestown sets.
Yeah. I still think it was robbed.
I would say objectively.
I still think objectively it was robbed because they were really doing something innovative.
Yeah.
And again, watch this space. We may see Hadestown and come on here and go, guys, we were wrong. I don't think we will.
However, there's a chance.
I don't want to look like a complete arse, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to stay firm in my assertion.
I want to be very clear. I think Hadestown is good. It's not by any means my favorite musical. I think if you couldn't tell already, just from how I've talked about it, Beetlejuice is one of my favorite musicals ever. Which is kind of a weird one to have as a favorite musical ever. Even I think that.
Yeah.
But it is. And so I'm always gonna say I think it's better than Hadestown right now. If I go and see Hadestown in like a year and I'm like, actually, this is incredible. I think the songs are incredible. I think all of the actors that I have seen play it. Yeah. I've never watched a bootleg, just from legal clips that have been.
No, I've actually never watched a Hadestown bootleg. I just I'm not Greek mythology.
I actually never have.
I actually have never. I'm not a Greek mythology person.
See, I am, which is why I found it weird that I don't like Hadestown that much. I think it's just I never got into it.
Yeah, you were too busy on the Beetlejuice train.
Yeah, here's the thing. We were sports day. We were waiting for Wait For Me reprise to come out.
Because we were bored as shit.
we weren't doing any of the activities,
It was
and
sports
we
day.
had heard that the Wait For Me reprise was coming out that day because they were releasing them one by one, which I
They
still
were
find weird.
releasing them in like drops because I think what happened was they wanted to get this album out as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah,
I think that's what happened.
I can imagine it is, but it just meant that we spent the whole day. Where I was going with that was I do think it is a really good musical. It's just at that same time that we were waiting for all of these drops to come out on Sports Day,
We just
I could
had
also just put in my
Beetlejuice.
headphones and listen to Beetlejuice.
We did do that.
We
I know
did.
for a fact we did. And then the week after, we went on a school trip to Berlin
Oh my god, yeah.
and we listened to Beetlejuice in Berlin on our way back
Yeah.
from a nightclub.
We did. We really liked Beetlejuice.
Like I think that there were two shows that you could have become obsessed with in 2019, like new shows of the season, and they were Hades Town and Beetlejuice.
Yeah, and I just ended up going with Beetlejuice.
I
There
was
weren't
still
really any
I
others
went with
at that
Spring
time.
Awakening because I'm not like other guys.
Yeah, you're so quirky and special.
So quirky and special. And I just watched Glee for the first time. I get why Hades Town swept at the Tonys, but I don't get why Beetlejuice didn't win the
Yeah,
Design
Hades Town deserved Tonys. No
To
one's
wrap
saying
this
it
whole thing
didn't
up.
deserve Tonys.
Yeah.
You know, it deserved Tonys. I just think Beetlejuice should have at least got one design Tony.
Design Tony, or I would take a Tony for Alex Brightman's work because it is truly exceptional.
Oh yeah.
Truly, truly exceptional.
It's
However,
incredible.
the clip of Beetlejuice performing the whole being dead thing, as we mentioned earlier, would gain 2 million views within a couple of months of it being up, with it now sitting at 4.6 million views.
Icons.
That's a lot of views.
Yeah.
As we said, we loved the recording. We were massive, massive fans of the recording. It was released the 7th of June with people who pre-ordered it being able to get Say My Name as a download. Like, Say My Name was like about before the soundtrack came out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like Say My Name and then Dead Mum, I think.
If it wasn't properly released, it was definitely used in a lot of promo material.
No, there was that clip of Sophia singing at a Broadway con.
That would be it.
Yeah.
That would be the one.
I watched that on YouTube a lot. There would be an album of cut songs that would be released on the 30th of October, the same day this is going out. This will be the anniversary of it.
Oh my god.
30th of October 2020, with it being 24 tracks created between 2012 and 2019, with there being a commentary for each of these tracks, with recorded behind the scenes from Eddie Perfect. I tried listening to it, but it was very weird having this grown man sing Dead Mum, a weird version of Dead Mum at me.
It's a weird. I think they're all good songs. I do enjoy them. I do think it is a weird listen though.
Yeah, it's very acoustic, and I'm sure Eddie Perfect were to perform it somewhere, I'd be like, this is fine. It's just in a recording setting. I'm just like, I'm not sure I can listen to this.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
April to June of 2019 was not the best time financially for Beetlejuice.
For many shows, really.
Yeah. Summer months are normally typically quite good for shows. It's more the winter months they have to worry about. April to June.
I think it's because Beetlejuice is such an inherently like Halloween, creepy autumn kind of show.
Also, like, it just started. The reviews weren't great. They hadn't had word of mouth catch on yet.
Yeah.
So it didn't win any of the big awards.
Yeah.
So it didn't have anything to really booster it, to get people to come see it, to get word of mouth going, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
April to June, the show did not make much money, with Beetlejuice having about 600k to 900k in ticket sales during those weeks.
Ooh.
So it is not looking good for our dear show Beetlejuice. 14th of July 2019, Presley Ryan.
Icon.
Now, we've not spoke. I can't believe we made it this far in the episode without mentioning Presley Ryan.
I genuinely do love her.
Was in the original Beetlejuice Broadway cast. She was 60. She was 15 when she started the show. All of the articles say she's 50. She was in the ensemble as like jockey. I think that was like the most notable thing she did, she was the jockey in What I Know Now, and you can
Yeah,
hear her on the recording go in What I Know Now, something about a toaster. No, never whip a
yeah,
furrow bread, and she was notably with Dana Steingold, understudy Lydia.
yeah. They didn't have an alternate Lydia. They
No,
just had two understudies
they had two understudies, and then they just had
because one of them was also the Girl Scout. So it was if Dana went on as Lydia,
then
Presley was the
Presley went
Girl
on as
Scout.
Girl Scout. But if Presley went on as Lydia, then nothing changed.
Yeah, they just alternated who went on to cover Lydia, and they would alternate it quite a bit.
Presley Ryan would so on the 14th of July 2019, Presley Ryan would make her first TikTok with the Beetlejuice cast featuring Dana Steingold and Alex Brightman, with Dana and Presley in their ensemble roles. Like they were in their ensemble
Icons.
robes. It was like during the gospel choir bit. This
Yeah,
show's insane. They were like in their robes. Beetlejuice, the TikTok fandom. So TikTok was still in its early days. It was still kind of struggling to find its footing in a
I don't think I
post-musical
had TikTok
world.
at this point.
Like it wasn't what it is now.
Yeah, where everyone has it.
Everyone has it. Everyone knows what's going on TikTok. Beetlejuice TikTok fandom was born when Alex Brightman, who plays the title role, this is from Paper Magazine, asked what were the new teen slang terms these days. That's when Presley told him about TikTok. They started making short videos over the platform over the time. The TikToks gained a huge following.
Icon.
This all
She
went.
Presley Ryan single-handedly saved Beetlejuice, and for that I have so much respect from her.
It is hilarious how this 15-year-old girl saved a multi-million-dollar Broadway show.
And she was iconic for it.
She
So
was.
much respect.
So much respect always to Presley. The cast's willingness to entertain the platform helped to usher in a younger audience. A search for the Beetlejuice hashtag garners more than 1.2 billion views. Now, this was in 2019.
Again, yeah, like Beetlejuice wasn't, not even TikTok wasn't the
Wasn't what
massive
it is
platform
today.
it is now.
Yeah, it. I can't. Don't think it was. It was very much like you. If you guys were around in 2019 and knew what was going on with Beetlejuice, you
Like
would.
they're not gonna be born.
No, but like you know what I mean. You could not be paying attention to what was going on
Yeah.
TikTok because I was really, and
Yeah.
then I had two separate conversations with people. One of them was with a friend who knows musicals,
Uh,
but isn't always the quickest adopter of new musicals,
yeah.
if that makes sense. And so I remember we were out for lunch, and she went, "Have you heard of Beetlejuice?" And I went, "Yeah, I've been on the Beetlejuice train for months now." And she went, "Oh yeah, I've just started listening. I really really like it. I saw it on social media. It's really really good. Have you seen the clip of them performing 'Say My Name'?"
It really was. It was,
And I
I
went,
think, the first time a musical properly used social media to its fullest advantage.
"Yeah." Anyway, slime tutorial. I've never watched one.
Obviously.
Obviously not. And then my other like that was like, oh, like this is getting into the musical theatre mainstream really quickly. And then my other one was when a random girl at school started singing Beetlejuice, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? That was like my what the hell is happening here?
It was, I do remember like stuff like that happening, and I had to pretend to be normal.
Like I was very much like, what is going on? But I could like make it through without being like, what the fuck? It was
I
when
was freaking out.
there was like there would come to me and be like, so and so was singing Beetlejuice in Spanish in French class today.
Don't fucking assume I did Spanish. I would never take a
No, I
Spanish
said
class.
French.
I unfortunately took French.
It was like when Heathers went mainstream for about 2 moments. It was
Oh,
like
and
that,
you
but 100 times worse when Beetlejuice went mainstream. Yeah, the songs that went really big were "Say My Name," "Girl Scout," and "Deo."
what
With
about, wait, okay, question
at
on
this
that.
time, at this time, so this was summer 2019, because
Okay,
What I Know
sure.
Now would become massive.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Started Beetlejuice inspired trends of cosplays, duets, and general clownery, pinpointing exactly why the new musical is the subject of such mass internet fanfare. Stems beyond just Broadway fans. It's such a perplexing task, but it doesn't mean that this newfound popularity is undeserved. I personally think it gained mainstream adoration on something like TikTok was multiple reasons.
Yeah.
And one article does point out is one, it was just one of the first things to come onto the app. It was just an early adopter thing.
Yeah.
Of there wasn't that much else going on the app. And I mean, Beetlejuice is great. It is kind of perfect to be consumed in that venture.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things that it's part luck in that it happened to have a very young cast member who was on TikTok at the right time.
Yeah.
As well as the fact that it was like that initial review said where it was very overstimulating and everything's happening every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It does make it very appealing, yeah, to a TikTok audience.
Yeah.
And I was just gonna say, like, I can barely sit through like long shows anymore.
Also, what one thing points out is the aesthetics of the time were very much in line with what the aesthetics of Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Remember, this was the rise of e-girls.
God, don't remind me.
What's Lydia?
Essentially an e-girl.
Lydia is essentially like the costuming of her is essentially an e-girl. In an interview with Rolling Stone, one of the big cosplayers, because cosplay was also massive for this. Like,
oh yeah,
the costumes.
It was very easy to cosplay it. Yeah, I would say
the costumes of like Beetlejuice and Lydia are so cosplayable. If that's the word.
Yeah.
Where it's almost like begging out to be consumed in that medium. One cosplayer names, I think their screen name is like Foxberry, saying a lot of people in my generation can relate to the character because they feel out of place and not normal. Who was a 90-year-old cosplayer who garnered millions and millions of views, which again, for early TikTok, that was insane.
Yeah, that was properly viral.
And I've always felt like that too. And again, for early adopters of social media are often people who feel outcasts.
Yeah.
So a show about outcasts, because I mean, Beetlejuice is also an outcast.
Yeah.
Is very easy to be adopted by these people. The show would start like playing into this, doing a lot of fan service to encourage this behavior that was sprouting up around Beetlejuice, with launching their 31 Days of Halloween during October, with giveaways, specialty cocktails, pub crawls, and other items during October. I would love to go to Beetlejuice themed pub crawl.
You imagine?
Sign us.
Let's make it happen.
Guys. First off, cast now as Lydia. Second off,
okay, me as Lydia.
Then
let's get that out of the way.
Then you can host a pub crawl.
Yeah. Just all of the spoons in central London.
We love Wetherspoons. It's actually a problem.
It's because it's affordable.
It's just cheap. And they would also, I remember them doing like a lot of playbill competitions. Like digital artists could create art and then like have a chance for it to be on the playbill. So in November of 2019, it was announced that the cast recording had surpassed 200 million streams in the United States and 350 million streams globally. These landmark numbers continue to be a remarkable success for the album, reaching the list of the top 10 most streamed original Broadway cast recordings in the previous decade, reaching the marker faster than Dear Evan Hansen or Mean Girls, which were both way more successful online initially than Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
With it happening in 21 weeks, only a couple weeks behind Hamilton, which took 18 weeks. Beetlejuice hit 100 million streams on November 5th, doubling in just 14 weeks. So it was very instantaneous, the success of this show. It
deserved.
It deserved, but once momentum started, it just kept building and building and building.
It was definitely unsustainable.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Like, as much as I love it, like, even now, I don't listen to it as much as I did when it first came out.
Yeah. I think looking back on it, we can see... Well, I mean, we don't know what would have happened to Beetlejuice because of COVID.
Yeah.
but it had a lot of momentum behind it, especially at this point. It was placed on Spotify's viral 50 charts in 13 different countries. Say My Name, one of the show's breakout showstopper, was chosen off of Amazon's Alexa Show of the Day Song of the Day last year. The incredible growth is partly a result to user-generated content on TikTok, where shows of the album have been used in over 1 million videos. Again, insane. There's a noticeable monetary difference with this internet attention, with the show having its biggest week on the 10th of November with $1.5 million. The advance has gone up in the past 14 consecutive weeks, rising more than 100%. Producers expect the trend to continue into December and late November when the tourists are in town. And as I've said, like, the winter months are hard on Broadway.
Yeah.
It is hard.
New York is horrific in the winter.
New York is like horrific. No one wants to go out. And so the fact
There's
that
also they don't have the thing we have here for theatre, which is like 24th, 25th, and 26th off.
I think they do like I think they do.
Oh, definitely like 25th.
No, I think they do like a matinee on the 24th at least.
Yeah. Because our one in the UK for theatre, theatres are closed on the 24th of December. I think the 24th.
I don't think so.
I have. Hold on. Let me try and book a show.
Yeah,
Frozen. Let's go see.
No, they are.
Is it actually open?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
24th of December, we could go see Frozen.
Oh, okay. But in the UK, you always have 25th of December, Christmas Day, and 26th, Boxing Day.
Those are holidays.
Yeah. You're not allowed to work. I think you also get like New Year's off. I have some memory of that. But I might be wrong on that front. Let me see. I'm gonna try and book Crazy for You for New Year's. Oh, okay. To be fair, this year basically Crazy for You is doing performances on the 26th.
Crazy for You.
Crazy for You is doing an £18 performance on the 26th of December.
That's hilarious.
Sorry, this is shocking.
What the fuck is
you get the 1st of January off for New Year's.
Yeah.
But usually what that means is like on Broadway, you see a slight decrease in sales, or at least a slight decrease in sales over winter.
Yeah. Okay. So Broadway,
like,
you literally only get Christmas Day off.
Oh god. Do you get New Year's Day off? 1st of January.
Yeah. But the one I'm looking on, it falls on like a Monday, the show's day off. But you also get New Year's Eve off.
Oh, we don't get New Year's Eve off, I don't. Or at least, what's it I was thinking Crazy for You, which apparently does Boxing Day performances, which is crazy.
That's unhinged.
But yeah, basically everywhere around the world, you see a decrease in sales around Christmas.
Also, like, people, there's this like proven theory that people don't have as much money in, especially like January, so they don't spend as much.
I think this is weird because it's like January, you see an increase in like shopping for things, right? Only because of sales, because you get New Year sales.
That's why they bring in the New Year sales, to keep the buying levels up.
I think the success of Beetlejuice in winter is why now you get so many weird social media things. Like, why is there a Hamilton experience on Roblox? Because they want sales this December.
I will say the only shows social media marketing that I've enjoyed recently is Gatsby,
which has been Jeremy Jordan lying about his height. That has been your marketing.
Yeah, but again, it's for a very for us, that is all the marketing you need.
And to be fair, the TikTok stuff wasn't technically marketing.
No, it was
like Presley Ryan was not being sat down in the office at the theatre.
I think
and be like, hey,
later on they might have been like, if you post some, we might pay you a bit more. But early on, no way.
That's very under the table, so I wouldn't suggest they did that.
No, again, everything we say in this episode is legend.
Yeah, but I'm saying at least definitely initially, she was not being sat out and said, hey, start posting these silly little TikTok trends with Alex Brightman so that we can make sales for the rest of the year. And then even as it increased and it became more popular, I still don't think they were sitting her down and saying, post this, post this, post this.
No, I don't think they ever had control.
They were saying, hey, keep posting because it's really helping us.
What's also
because she was a very young minor at the time. She was 16 at this point?
Yeah. Also, what we want to put.
I don't think there was any suggestion of it being like, hey, if you post this more, we'll pay you, or hey, if you post this more, we'll put you on as Lydia more often.
I
Because they're
don't
very
think they
strict
needed
child labor laws.
they needed to put her on. Also, another thing is that
No,
like,
but it's like she would be favored to go on as Lydia over Dana. I don't think that happened at all.
no,
And
I think they
even
were
if it did,
often
definitely not as a
scrambling.
result of her TikToks.
No. What's just interesting to say here though is that as Presley Ryan is gaining more notoriety from the general public,
A certain someone
she
is being
it's
seen less and less
a
as Lydia.
provable fact. She just like it's a coincidence. There is
Yeah.
nothing more to it. There is a coincidence. As Presley started gaining more social media fans and the show started selling better, she started going on more as Lydia, and so did Dana. And Dana would appear in Presley's TikToks.
Yeah, the type of video, not even really the type, but that same genre of videos that Presley Ryan was initially putting out, which was just her backstage with castmates
It was just her
making
dancing.
videos. Yeah, it was just her doing TikTok trends. You now see that so much for theatre stuff. Like you'll see Get Ready as me with me to go on stage as this character. You know, day in the life of an actor in New York. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm not suggesting that Presley Ryan caused like Instagram takeovers.
They
But
were
I
a
will
thing
say
before her.
I have seen an increase in Instagram
Okay,
takeovers.
yeah.
And I think it is the success of Beetlejuice and the success of Presley Ryan definitely proved that there was something proper in social media.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And again, I think you can't talk about using social media to market without talking about COVID.
Yeah.
Because it's when you are stuck inside for a year with only social media, you start thinking about everything you see. So if I was on social media and every single video I saw was saying, come and see Beetlejuice, come and see Beetlejuice, come and see Beetlejuice, I would go and see Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
I think that's why Beetlejuice was still initially successful when it reopened, but we'll get to that.
What's interesting is that Telecharge, which is a shit site, it's horrific. Anyway, they said that 54% of audience members had never bought tickets for Beetlejuice, had never bought tickets through Telecharge before. 70% were between the ages of 19 and 54, well above the 49% benchmark of most Broadway shows, according to the September to November 2019 data provided by the representatives for the production. Accordingly, the actual audiences skew much younger. The reporter that was there from Rolling Stone said, I saw it Wednesday evening before Thanksgiving, and most audience members were well below the minimum rental car age. During intermission, I spotted a curly-haired high schooler fangirling over an out-of-costume understudy who had come to visit a friend in the audience. Eddie Perfect said, I imagine Broadway shows will have an incredibly annoying mandatory social media experts advising their show on how to interject their shows into TikTok.
Yeah.
On the 9th of December, it would announce that it was closing on the 6th of June 2020, with a tour being announced around the same time. It genuinely was the worst day of Nell's life. It is really hard to find like a correct timeline of all the stuff that went down. So I went to the best source, Catherine Steele. Shout out, Catherine. What happened was Beetlejuice announced that they had basically been closed out of their theatre, which was a new term for most of us, by the Netherlands, basically saying that they hadn't made a certain amount of money between, I believe it was like a week in May. Oh, yeah, a week in May where it was first starting, where it didn't make a lot of money. This is because the theatre that you're in takes a cut of the box office, and they thought, and there was a production that could make more money than Beetlejuice was making during those weeks. So they said in May, during its first month of running, okay, this production can make more money, we'll evict them at some point. The time comes to evict them, they're suddenly making a shit ton of money. But anyway, and we're all like, what production is it? At the same time, The Music Man would announce that it was coming to Broadway, starring Hugh Jackman and Sutton Foster, with the seating plan, with like tickets going on sale, but they hadn't announced the theatre. The seating plan looking a lot like the Winter Gardens.
Boo!
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 Boo! The response to this was the most 2019 thing ever. There was a change.org petition launched.
I think I signed it. Or at least I looked at
signed it. Yeah, we definitely signed it. Gaining 36,000 signatures.
Jesus. We were angry about this.
We were so pissed. Two very big public figures would tweet their support, being John Mulaney.
Shout out to John Mulaney.
Shout out to John Mulaney for saying, I don't know the particulars behind running a theatre, but I think it's a poor decision and there are few reliable barometers in entertainment. But if an audience decides the show is great and ticket is in demand, leave the show alone. But shout out John Mulaney. And Lynn saying, Schubert say Beetlejuice 3 times and give it one of your other theatres. In response, Beetlejuice on Broadway, the official account said, Lin-Manuel Miranda is tweeting us. How lucky are we to be undead right now? So it's time for you to talk about it now.
Oh my god. Okay, let me set the scene.
So do you want me to say like the stated facts?
No.
Or do you want to do it from your memory and then me correct you?
It's the 21st of February, 2020. We're slightly worried about COVID, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a big problem yet.
It's only maybe in Italy.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but we'll be at that time on holiday in California with my family.
I am not sick yet.
Esme is about to get sick.
I'm about to get really sick.
And so she's resting up.
No, I was at a family party. I was at rehearsals.
Esme is out getting everyone sick in a move that if this happened about 3 months later, she would be cancelled for. However, at this point, it's fine.
I didn't know I was really sick when I ventured out of my home. Anyway.
I want to keep in mind, I am in America. I'm on a completely different time zone from her. And she sends me a screenshot of a Playbill article. I do not remember properly if I had seen the Instagram story before this. I feel like I must have.
Saw the Instagram story.
I did because I followed her like religiously. She sends me a screenshot of a Playbill article that says Sophia Anne Caruso departs Broadway's Beetlejuice. And says, also, are you okay? What had happened was on Sophia Anne Caruso's Instagram story.
I have it exactly written down what she said.
Oh, don't worry, I'll read it out. She posted a story and she said, if you plan tickets to see me, please note that Wednesday evening, the 19th, so 2 days previously, was my last performance of Beetlejuice. I will not be doing any future performances of it. This would be the last and only thing she would ever say about this.
Well, a representative would her press representative would comment.
Because allegedly,
again,
I'm inclined to believe this is true. There was a clause in Sophia Anne Caruso's contract which said that she had an out if she got cast in some kind of, I think, film or television work. Because that's what she was
actively pursuing it. Because I remember there would be like announced dates where it would be like, this weekend Sophia's not here because she's going to go film, so Dana and Presley will be alternating well.
Like, Sophia Anne Caruso wanted to do film and TV, and that's completely fine.
Her absences did get less and less explained as they went on.
Yeah, so there were times when she would be out because she was going to do something, like either audition or film something.
Yeah. And if that's in her contract, then that's in her contract.
Yeah, there was apparently another clause in her contract which specifically said if she got cast in a film or TV thing that she really wanted to do, but the schedule overlapped too much with Beetlejuice, or it would take up her whole schedule.
Or she'd have to go to LA. She could just leave.
Yeah. She could leave. She could leave Beetlejuice and go and pursue this television work, which is fair. I think we don't see it a lot, like, actually come into force. I feel like a lot of contracts do have that kind of stuff in them, especially on Broadway.
I think they do have that stuff in them, but I also think that it's never as abrupt.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes this different.
And that was the thing, because if it was announced on Friday, the 21st of February, 2020, and she said, at the end of this month, so in like 7 days, I will be leaving, even that would be a bit abrupt.
It'd be a bit abrupt, but it'd be like, okay, if she's got a job, she's got a job.
Yeah. She would say, in 7 days, I will be playing my last performance because I am going to go and be in a different thing. And we think, if you believe what they are saying, this big conspiracy.
It did kind of become a bit of a conspiracy.
Yeah. But if you take what they are saying at face value, that she had a contract, and in that contract was a clause that she could leave to get if she got film and TV work, and she got film and TV work, and she left. We assumed that the thing she got cast in was the School of Good and Evil.
Yeah.
But we assumed that that's what she went to go and film, which I think we said when School of Good and Evil came out or was announced that it was her. We were like, that's kind of too much of a jump for it to have been that. But looking back,
Yeah.
it must have been because of COVID. Because it was
Yeah.
ended up being like a year or so after
It came
she
out
left.
recently, but
It's come out within somewhere between like 2022 and
it's come out like, I
2023.
swear it came out last year.
Yeah, it came out pretty recently. And so it ended up being announced either late 2020 or sometime in 2021 that she was in it.
Yeah.
And if there hadn't been a pandemic, I would say that is far too long
Yes, yeah, 100%.
for that to be what she left Beetlejuice for. But with the pandemic, I think it probably was.
You know, I do think it probably
And
was.
so to an extent, I do believe
What have you been told?
I do believe that. However, there are things about the departure that are very weird. Number one, that she announced it after she left.
Okay, so let's keep with what we know as fact for the moment.
Yeah. There's a thing in not only Broadway shows, but in all like theatre performances, which is changeover day, which is usually the end of the week of performances. So, for example, if a show does performances from Tuesday to Sunday, a performer will usually do their last performance on a Sunday, and the new performer will come in on the Tuesday, for example. That's what tends to happen.
Yeah, so during this time, it was announced that Dana Steingold and Presley Ryan would share the role until it was announced, for like the week.
Yeah.
And then it was announced that Presley Ryan would take over the role full time as Lydia until the 29th of March. So not a long time, actually. But again, she was a child. Looking at it, it makes sense why they decided to promote Presley to the main role rather than Dana, because in the actual show, Presley's role it's easier to get a swing in to do the ensemble than it is to get a swing in to do Girl Scout. Makes sense.
And I think as well, Dana was already pretty established as the Girl Scout at that point, so it made sense. And so we know that she left. She announced it after she'd left, which everyone agreed was weird.
So
now we get into speculation.
Everything we say is alleged, but we are going to be using a published article in the New York Post, which again isn't the most reliable source, but they do have a history of covering Broadway things.
However, if you want to send a cease and desist to Fiona and Caruso, send it to them, not us. We're just parroting what they
say, and also like we literally have no money. We cannot afford to buy the Nerdy Prudes album. Do you think we have money?
Like, I know we're kind of joking, but in a genuine sense, I, at face value, do believe the story that she's put out. I do think that that's the main reason.
I believe.
However, I'm allowed to gossip.
I believe it was a contractual out, and honestly, like when I started putting this episode together, when I started researching it, I went, "We're gonna have to stick with the company line unless I can find a published article that says otherwise," and I did. So we're going to talk about it.
Can I summarize the article in my own words of what I think?
Okay, but I think I am going to say some direct quotes to cover our asses, but go ahead.
Okay. The rumours are that Sophia had been butting heads with cast and crew of Beetlejuice, and perhaps that she was not the best cast member there, the most liked cast member there.
Yeah.
I would say more so as time went on than from the get-go. If you look at videos from very early in the run, they all seem very close. There were questions about the fact that Presley and Dana had already been going on for her so much.
Yeah.
And it seemed although Beetlejuice was 8 shows a week, she barely turned up to any of them.
And I mean, we could get into the whole 8 shows a week being kind of insane for one person to do.
I think 8 shows a week is very insane.
These are all discussions for another time and place. And also we could get into the whole how nice it was that the understudies for a main role on Broadway, especially played by women, were so widely accepted.
Yeah.
we could get into all of that another time, and I do think they're important to note, but they're not the main reason.
There were also, I don't know how to put this, but there were rumors that allegedly.
Right, do you want me to read the quote?
Okay, basically, allegedly, there were rumors that she may or may not have been entirely sober the entire time she was Beetlejuice.
We have no proof for that.
There is no proof. Even I will say, even I don't fully believe this. It
I
seems
don't
very
fucking
far-fetched.
believe that.
I don't like people. I think even in this article, there is a quote where someone's like, she was kind of like unprofessional.
Yeah, I think she might have been a
But
bit unprofessional, but I think she was also probably like 18 and probably a bit in
she
over
was
her
pretty
head.
young. She was like 18 to early
I
20s.
googled it. She was 18.
Yeah. Broadway wasn't particularly what she actually wanted to do.
Like, okay, so
I don't think she
says
was ever like drunk or high.
no,
I
no.
genuinely don't believe it. But there were rumors she was. I think
At the time there were, but I don't believe it. Really nice the love that Presley and Dana got, and I'm thinking about the video of all of them singing Dead Mom together.
I
And
love that video.
at
It's
the
one of my favorite
start,
videos.
Sophia says we were going to do something special. We were trying to figure out what, and so I thought it would be nice to bring them both up because we share the role. And I was like, that's really lovely.
Yeah, but you can imagine if you were, and again, I'm going to say something, and it is entirely all speculation.
Yeah.
But if you can imagine that you've been cast for a role in theatre and you don't particularly want to keep doing theatre, you'd rather be doing film or TV.
Because she started theatre young, and so her interest, she gets older, interests like move.
She clearly wants to keep acting. There's nothing wrong with preferring to do film and TV rather than theatre. This theatre, I think I said this in the Bad Cinderella episode, it's very temperamental.
Yes.
Like, if you are off your game once, you're fucked. If you screw up one audition, you're not going to get a job. You know? If you screw up on stage once, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I can entirely understand why someone would prefer to do film or TV. I love theatre, but I understand it. So if you're saying that she would prefer to do film and TV,
yeah,
but assuming because she stayed in Beetlejuice so long despite this contractual out, she was unsuccessful, at least for a while. And then on top of that, you have the entire audience preferring to go and see another actor play the role you also play.
Sophia still got love, but it wasn't
she was
love.
Well loved, but it's like the thing, that quote you said of someone freaking out over an uncostumed understudy. We can assume that that's Presley.
I don't know. I don't think it was, because Presley would have been. She would have been in the show when she wasn't on stage. When she was at Lydia, she was still in the show.
But thinking if that's interval, they said specifically uncostumed. No, because they said she was freaking out at the interval, right?
Yeah.
I can assume that she was uncostumed and that she just went into the audience really quick to say hi to her friend.
Maybe.
But you know,
New York Post article says actors rarely leave the Broadway run. Abruptly, when they do, they usually give their final performance on a Sunday, not the middle of the week. But tension among Caruso and her producers and co-stars production sources say she's been missing performances. She did not show up. A source says her behaviour was eccentric and erratic. Alex Brightman, who plays the title character, especially got annoyed at her, quote, lack of discipline. Another source says she and Alex did not get along at all. The whole cast was getting fed up. Everyone was relieved to see her go. Several sources say the producers let the 18-year-old, again important to note, frame her departure whatever way she wanted to, which resulted in her February 21st Instagram post. Sophia's press agent, Carleen Donovan, said the actress exercised her contractual out to pursue television work and not get fired from the show. In an email to the cast last week, the show's producers wrote, after several conversations, Caruso has decided to pursue television work. Please join us in wishing her the best. Presley Ryan, Caruso's understudy, has taken over the role of morbid teenage Lydia. She's friendly, talented, and dependable, a source says. It will be a nice change.
And I want to say on top of all of that, like, we can speculate all we want and we can gossip all we want about what went on. And it's fun to do.
We have.
Yeah, it's fun to do. It's fun to be like, she was, I don't know, there was all this drama, like they were fighting on stage every day.
I don't think that was the case.
But they weren't. I also think as well, it's very important that the actors playing Beetlejuice and Lydia have chemistry. They're such an integral part of the show that they need chemistry. If there
100%.
wasn't, something had to change.
Yes.
I also think, again, 18,
Oh my god.
people say she's acting erratic.
But I couldn't imagine being 18 and having all that
But yeah,
responsibility, working
I'm
8
20 now. I don't think I could do it.
I
Like, I still feel very young.
I swear, like I'm only 19, but at 18 I was not a functioning
Yeah.
human.
And I'm willing to assume maybe we're a little bit different because, COVID
Yeah,
and all that.
yeah,
My
I
situation.
know. But like I think this is the general sentiment of like she had been working, she'd been in this role since she was 16, 17.
And I think the main thing is whatever actually happened backstage that we don't know about and that we
Yeah,
might never know about,
yeah,
the ultimate backup, something was happening. She had a contractual out. She used it because she didn't want to do Beetlejuice anymore. And that's fine. Like people quit all the time.
no one should do something that they don't want to, or is making them unhappy, or is making the people around them unhappy.
And I do genuinely, I really loved Sophie Ryan for a really long time. I thought she was incredible.
Yeah,
I can also imagine, because we talked about it right at the very beginning, the way she sung Lydia, I can
yes.
assume is not entirely her fault. It was definitely some form of direction,
Oh yeah.
but it was not sustainable. And I don't think she had any other way to sing it. Because I don't know if you've ever heard like her original music, like her non-musical stuff.
I think I might have listened to it once years ago, but
Her voice is not Lydia's voice. Like Lydia is a very, I wouldn't call it rock. I very much hesitate to call it rock
no,
or
it's
like metal or anything like that. But it's a lot heavier than what Sophia Anne Caruso's actual voice is.
yeah,
And I think it's a mix of things, especially basically she just didn't want to do it.
yeah. And like as it says, her and the producers obviously came to some kind of agreement.
Yeah.
Let her leave on her own terms, which is also good. No hate to Sophia. This is like almost 4 years old at this point. Who cares? But it
Yeah.
was like again, it was big gossip for us at the time, and the people online who are a similar age to us, because it was the one of the first really big scandals that had happened. It wasn't even a fucking scandal.
Yeah, it was literally just gossip.
Laying out all the facts, like almost 4 years on, like it would play its final performance at the Winter Garden Theatre on the 10th of March 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. They were meant to be performances were meant to be cancelled up until April 12th. However, that did not happen. On the 13th of September 2022, it was announced that it was returning to the Marriott Marquis Theatre. Fucking hate the Marriott Marquis Theatre. It sucks. It would come back on the 8th of April 2022 with most of the cast returning. Alex Brightman would be reprising his role, as well as Kerry Butler, David Joseph Berg.
Oh yeah.
Adam, because Rob McClure had left to go do Doubtfire.
Yep. Bad choice. Sorry, Rob.
Sorry, Rob, no hate, but I do not like Doubtfire for the same reason I don't like Tootsie. Adam Danhauser, Leslie Rodriguez Kritzer, Kevin Moon Lowell, Danny Regattiato, Dana Steingold, and new to the production would be Elizabeth Tietler as Lydia Dietz, and Michelle Aravena as Miss Argentina, and Sonia Love as Maxine Dean and Juno. Interesting casting change is the splitting up between, because originally Leslie Rodriguez Kritzer played both Delia and Miss Argentina.
Yeah.
But that was a fast ass quick change. It wasn't like it wasn't able to sustain the same momentum that it once had post-pandemic in a pre-pandemic landscape, just because it had moved on to other things, and it's probably an expensive show to run, but it would play its final performance on January 8th, 2023, since its return to Broadway, grosses had stagnated, and in recent weeks, the production had grossed less than 1 million and has been playing to capacities of 60 to 70%.
Yeah, it was never sustainable how successful it was.
No, however, it did outlast The Music Man by 1 week.
Success.
And isn't that all that matters? It's like that one TikTok that I love to think about, where it's on the day that Biden was announced to be the next president, and it's someone just screaming "fuck Trump" and "fuck the Music Man" on Broadway. The national tour would officially start in December of 2022, with it being slated to to play 26 cities running until 2024. It was very successful and it would make national news, and it did the stop when Republican Lauren Boebert,
Oh my God.
who is a US representative for the Republican Party in the state of Colorado, would be ejected from the musical on September 10th for vaping, recording videos, and disturbing other patrons. She was creating her own slime tutorials.
Yeah. Allegedly.
No, this is like
And
documented. The thing you're about to say is documented.
oh, okay. Apologies to Esme's dad, who I know listens to this. This feels a bit crude. She's allegedly, well, she was, giving a hand job to her partner during Dead
Mum.
which is crazy. At least do it during the whole being dead thing.
Yeah, at least
Come
do it
on.
not during the ballad. According to the reports from the confrontation from Theatre Security, Boba and her guests became argumentative, asking people, "Do you know who I am?"
Jesus.
She apologized, saying, "The past few days have been especially difficult and humbling, and I am truly sorry for the unwanted attention my Sunday evening in Denver has brought my family. I
Insane.
tried to handle it with strength and grace the best I can, but fell short on Sunday. However, in a now deleted tweet, she put guilty for laughing and singing too loud."
Right.
Another interesting part about it is that she is one of the most far-right representatives in Congress, known for her bigoted statements against LGBTQ plus people, Muslims, and other marginalized communities. Boo.
Ew.
A report from Advocate, an LGBTQ plus news outlet, noted that the man accompanied her to Beetlejuice was a Democrat named Quinn Gallagher, who was the proprietor of a bar that hosted LGBTQ events and drag performances, and which have been the targets of the political right.
Jesus Christ.
It's
just, I mean, you know what? I hate to say it, but thanks to her, because that Beetlejuice tour has got some great improvs. They have got some good
when I
things.
went, they were making jokes about Ron DeSantis.
So yeah,
this is like prime joke material for them.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Could you imagine if you were performing in a show where you had to make jokes about current events?
Yeah.
And one night, a congresswoman, a Republican congresswoman, comes to your show.
One of the ones that says the most outlandish and like harmful shit.
Yeah, but she comes to your show, she jacks off her partner, who's another congressman.
Not a congressman, just a Republican. No, just a Democrat, like a registered Democrat.
Okay.
Who
someone from the opposing party and then gets picked out.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the joy I would feel if my drama teacher had said, now you have to do improv every day this week, but that's your start?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'd be set.
You'd be set for life. There is a version of this musical in Seoul with it being adapted from English into Korean. It's like a replica production. It is currently playing Brazil, and it is set to play Australia in 2025, with Alex Timbers set to come back and direct the musical. A school version is currently in the work.
All of these versions. And no West End version.
Where's our version for the West End?
Please, Alex Brightman. I've heard you have first refusal.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll be interesting to see whether or not he goes to Australia.
I don't think he will.
No, I think if he's going to do it anyway.
He's doing something right now, isn't he?
He's doing The Shark is Broken, and then I think he's going to Spamalot, but I don't think Spamalot.
Yeah.
Yes, Spamalot's not selling well. So, whatever. Alex Brightman, please come to London.
2024 to 2025. Beetlejuice London, come on.
We will be there. If you guys want to Beetlejuice London, you want to...
I could be Lydia. Alex, listen, I could be Lydia. You could be Beetlejuice.
It would be a great
we can do this.
time. If that's not possible, let us host a Beetlejuice bar crawl.
If that's not possible, please just come to London.
Come to London.
Just
let us
see Beetlejuice.
Host a Beetlejuice bar crawl. Let us come. Give us tickets. We'll come.
Don't even. I will pay. I will pay for tickets.
Yeah, you will pay for tickets.
I will pay for tickets.
Sure, you'll be there first performance.
Oh yeah. First and last and everyone in between.
Oh God.
I think
But
that's everything.
that's everything. I expect it to be popular with schools. I'm so excited to see all of the bad sets that come out of it because schools don't have the budget to put this thing on.
I'm so excited to see all the bad voices.
Oh yeah.
That'll be fun.
I'm so excited to see all the boys whose voices haven't cracked because they're like 15 try and do the Beetlejuice voice.
It's gonna be so good.
It'll be so good. Anyway, should we share what we're doing next week?
We are doing
Wicked.
Wicked.
Because we missed its 20th anniversary because we really wanted to do Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
So we're doing it next week.
Oh my God, that's gonna come out the day before Halloween. That's our last spooky little musical.
Well, Wicked is technically still spooky.
Huh?
Wicked is technically spooky. It's about witches.
Yeah. I didn't say it wasn't spooky. I said that's our last little spooky musical.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's our last. We have managed to do an entire month of spooky musicals.
Yeah, 4. We do 1 episode a week.
Yeah, but still. We're struggling for Christmas.
Very few other Christmas musicals.
Yeah.
A Christmas Carol, the musical.
Absolutely fucking not. But we have plans for Christmas time, don't you? Don't you
Yeah,
worry.
yeah.
Yeah. Let us. Yeah. This has been Beetlejuice, I guess.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Come to London, Beetlejuice.
Please cast me, please. And then come to London, please.
Cast now, come to London. Let us host a pub crawl. We love spoons.
Please.
Also, RIP the Theatre Cafe. I just went on Twitter and I saw that people were leaving flowers outside of it.
Oh my God. I miss the Theatre Cafe so much already.
Like, where else am I going to go hear Michael in the bathroom in an Arabian Nights in public
While
before
drinking.
10 a.m.? We
heard Michael in the bathroom while we were drinking.
Yeah, like, where else in London can I do this? So,
exactly.
Pour one out and send me your Gatsby slime tutorials.
Bye!
Bye-bye!